Mark me as tardy when I'm sitting right in front of you? Okay, I'll be back later. I was the stereotypical bookish type, using my breaks to read books rather than making small talk with my classmates and adventuring to hangout spots around the school. However, something was in the air this day, and I decided it was time to take a risk. I had been hearing about the decadent chocolate muffins provided in the recreational center at a decent price and had spent the morning math session dreaming of devouring the chocolatey goodness as I read through another chapter of my book. So, when our 15-minute break hit, I gathered up all my courage and took my directionally challenged arse to begin the perilous quest of finding this mystical wreck can. Luckily, I quickly realized every other student was also heading there, so I was able to follow them. Unfortunately, in my haste I left my poor precious book perched atop my desk. I can still hear its pained voice calling out to me as I stumbled down the stairs. How could you leave me behind like this? Alas, I could not retrieve it as I needed to follow the horde of children if I wanted to bless my taste buds with the chocolate muffin I had been craving ever since class had started. I got to the wreck can in one piece, however squished in the middle of the stampede I was, and somehow found myself at a reasonable spot in line at the snack counter. Now, I won't bore you with the details, but oh stars, holy poop, goodness gracious, dear reader, this muffin far exceeded every one of my expectations. Soft, with big, slightly melted chocolate chunks enveloped in its warm velvety texture. The muffin itself looked stunning as well, and I could hear the background music playing as I saw the muffin and everything else disappeared from view. It had an angelic halo and golden glow and was calling out to me as I stared at it with rose-colored glasses as the wind blew my bangs back in slow motion and flowers bloomed across the screen. And the taste, ooh, the taste. This muffin was full of all the sugar my young self could ever want. It was moist, and soft, and would crumble in your mouth but stayed together beforehand, not making a mess. This muffin was the most perfect baked good I had ever encountered, and I even had a lovely attention-grabbing book to read as I enjoyed the chocolate delight. Was this what heaven was like? After I bought the muffin and returned to reality, I noticed the other students dispersing around the room, chatting and playing random games. I pitied the poor fool who had to clear up their extravagant mess, but even the wince that accompanied the thought couldn't dampen my mood. My entire life has culminated into this one stunning moment, and I'd be damned if I didn't properly enjoy it. All that was left was to trudge back upstairs to the classroom, retrieve my book, and have the single best moment of my life so far. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. Since all the other kids looked as if they wouldn't leave for a while, I was forced to try finding my own way back up the stairs to our classroom. Of course, I ended up stumbling around lost for quite a while, and by the time I found my way back to the classroom with my half-eaten muffin in hand, the break was already nearing its close. Food was not allowed inside the classroom, so I was forced to leave the rest of my perfect chocolate muffin on the table outside as I returned to the room for attendance. Allowing myself only a few forlorn looks back at the muffin, I quickly hurried to my seat and sat down. My teacher had already started attendance, so I sat in my seat quietly and waited to announce my presence.